Hey everyone, it is Tom Panos here from the Real Estate Gym. On behalf of realestate.com.au, I welcome you to our webinar, Kickstart 2023, The Digital Agent. This is a kickstart with a focus on how to use digital to not only just survive in a time of chaos in real estate, but actually thrive. As Warren Buffett says it best, when the tide goes out, that's when you work out who's been swimming with their swimmers on and who's been swimming naked. And in 2023, let me tell you, some of the agents that have just been winging it are getting exposed. The first thing I want to say to you, team, as you're watching this, is it's a mindset. You've got to make the decision in 2023 whether you're interested in your real estate career or whether you're committed to your real estate career. And in a marketplace that has gone from nuts to normal, correct, in 2020, 2021, and some of 2022, we had a boom going on across Australia. Life's changed. We've gone from nuts to normal. And I don't know where you're watching this at the moment, what city, what suburb, what state in Australia, but overall, there has been a change of market. What we've seen is that days on market is growing. The off-market deals aren't happening as much. And yes, I get it. As you're watching this, you might be in a marketplace that hasn't been impacted by the 9 or 10 rate rises that we've had so far and the more to come. And we have what I call lots of sub-markets. In fact, micro markets make up Australia. And some markets, days on market, are still low. Everything's selling. For instance, I do know in Perth, the market is red hot. And in Adelaide, there hasn't been much of a shift so far. But places like Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, and even a lot of the regional areas that did very well out of the COVID years as people rushed to have a sea change and a tree change due to COVID clarity, if you like it, we are now seeing properties taking a lot longer to sell. We're also seeing the amount of properties that get listed versus sold change. This is called the list to sell ratio, a very important ratio. And what we clearly know is that not every property in this current market will sell. Often they'll get passed in, pulled off the market, rented out, another agent will sign it up, or some vendors will just decide we're not selling. Whatever the reason is, what we clearly know is that we no longer have a high list to sell ratio. We've also seen price declines. So many of you vendors are going to be disappointed with the property prices that they're getting, offers and what they're going to sell at. And I have to say to you, you're going to have to get good at being a deal maker in this marketplace. And the reason I say it is buyers now have fear of overpaying versus fear of missing out. You see, the average buyer's concerned if rate rises keep going up, maybe they're going to overpay if they buy now and their property will be worth less in the future. So what you've got to do is get very good in this market at putting deals together because the market's not going to do it. The other major KPI and metric that has changed dramatically is volume. And I have to say to you, clients, please listen to me. You're a client of realestate.com. You live off volumes. You live off number of transactions in a marketplace. And I'm going to say to you right now, in some markets, volumes have dropped by 50%. Think about that for a moment. Half the amount of properties are being sold in that marketplace. In other markets, it's business as usual. And in some markets, there's even more property being sold. But as a general rule, we have seen a decline in number of houses and units sold over the last 12 months. So yes, we've got price drops, volumes down, days on markets up, and we clearly know that we're facing headwinds. Talks of recession, ongoing rate rises, price declines. This is a time in real estate where you're going to have to go pro. And this webinar that I'm presenting on behalf of realestate.com.au, I'm going to tell you, you've got to make the decision that you're not only going to survive in this market, but you're going to thrive. You're going to attempt to win market share. And what we're going to be doing is covering some of the strategies with a digital focus and also some of the mindsets that you need to have 2023 as your best year ever in real estate and defy what the market's doing. But to start off with, team, I'm going to say to you, you're going to have to block the noise, whether it's a newspaper, whether it's news online, whether it's social media, whether it's television. There's a lot of noise about the market, and it's scary noise. It's not positive noise. And I've got to say to you, block the noise and focus on these 4 letters. PLAN. The word is plan, and it stands for P, prospect. Prospect, prospect, prospect. You've got to go off and list more properties in this market because not everything's going to sell. List. You're going to make sure that your listing presentation goes up a notch. It's got to be unstoppable. It's got to be irresistible, and it's got to win business based on process and not on price. You cannot overprice listings in 2023 and sell them. If you list a property that's overpriced with an unmotivated vendor, it's not a listing. It's a liability. So you're going to have to make sure your listing presentation can actually give a vendor hope, but at the same time, help them understand that chances are in this changing market, they're going to have to realign their expectations. The A out of the word plan stands for adjust. You're going to have to understand to win in this market, you're going to have to get good at seller servicing, vendor management, if you like. You're going to have to learn to deliver bad news in a positive way to your clients, because in this marketplace where borrowing capacity has been reduced by the banks by 25% since May 22. That's right. A buyer that may have had $1 million to spend now has $750. You're going to have to educate your vendors that the prices of yesteryear are not there today in most markets. And then there's the N out of the word plan, which stands for negotiate. If you've been an order taker for the last 3 years, you're going to get devastated. You've got to shift from order taker to deal maker. This is a marketplace where you've got to get good at negotiating, getting offers, increasing those offers, and getting vendors to accept those offers. Negotiation is a critical skill in a changing market. And I am going to say to you, team, as we look at this new marketplace, you're going to have to also get good at your time management. And one of the things I'm going to share with you is the opportunity today, whether you're a small agent, a newer agent, you can compete with the best of the best using some of the things I'm going to cover in this webinar. For instance, I'm going to say to you that right now, you're a smaller agent. If you were to use just one thing alone, and that is Agent Elevate, which allows you to have you branded more on your listings, that will give consumers a much better chance of seeking you out. We're in the attention economy. You've got to stand out to win out. And I have to say to you that Agent Elevate will allow you to stand out and be more visible by 44%. So this allows even an agent that might not be working for a very big office and have years and years of experience and have lots and lots of listings to grab the attention. It's all part of the Connect suite of products. In addition to that, team, I'm going to say to you, it's very important that you understand that if you can't beat someone on experience and size, you can beat them on product knowledge. Product knowledge is your unique selling superpower in 2023. And as part of Connect, there's the CMA. The CMA is basically data. Make data your best friend. Know everything about every property that has sold about every property that's currently on the market. So when they're talking to you, they can turn around and say, is that agent seemed to know everything. Everyone wants to deal with an expert, with an authority. Make product knowledge a big priority for 2023. And the CMA from realestate.com.au as part of Connect is basically a university course on data for you. In addition to that, there's another product which I adore, I love. It's called the Digital Introduction by Pitch. Again, something as part of the Connect suite of products. This allows you to set an appointment with a client. Yes, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 5 o'clock, where I'll inspect your property and talk about what its value is and how to go about getting a high price in this market. You hang up. Within a few minutes, you have sent them a text message with a digital introduction on you, a beautiful digital document that they get on their phone. They'll read about it. You're going to be standing out already versus your competitors, and you will get alerted when they open it up. I have to tell you, team, for someone that's been in real estate for nearly 40 years, the big tech tool for me was in 1989. I no longer had to actually get a letter, type it out, make a mistake, liquid paper, retype it, go to the post office, put it in an envelope, put a stamp on it, send it off, and wait for 2 weeks for a reply. That was in 1989. Think about it. In 2023, we've got the ability to send them a digital introduction within seconds of talking to them and being able to see when they've opened it up. Seek it out and forget about those old documents as pre-list kits that we used to send off with ribbons on boxes and old brochures that they never ever really looked at. People are phone-based in 2023. Your digital introduction, your pre-list should be sent by text message. And whilst we're talking about pitch, let's talk about the digital price update, which continues to be my favorite tool to nurture clients, client nurturing in your database, in your pipeline. Imagine sending out your nurture list, your potential vendors, I call your PV chase list, every quarter, a digital price update. Not with comparable sales, but surrounding sales. Comparable sales can be tricky because you might actually put wrong comparables that upset the client and they think their home is worth a lot more than that. Surrounding sales talks about properties in the surrounding areas. And what I can say to you is that the clients that I train, and don't forget, I train as part of the REB Top 100, most of those clients are either one-on-one or real estate gym members. I see how they use digital price updates. They're sending them out on a constant basis, and what they're waiting for is the alert on their SMS when a client has opened that up. This shows you that moment the client is engaged. So I've got to say to you, team, digital price updates and digital introductions are two tools the high-tech, high-touch agent in 2023 is using. If you're not using it, speak to your realestate.com rep straight away and get on to Connect. It is your competitive advantage in the marketplace. It's your opportunity to actually play above your weight and compete against the best. In addition to that, one of the things that we learned in 2020, 21, 22, during COVID, when people were concerned about the virus and transmission, signing on glass became the new normal. If you're not signing on glass at the moment, example, signing your agency agreements, you are making it difficult for your clients, you're putting too much friction there, and you're also taking away time from yourself, time that you could be spending listing and selling real estate, because that's where the money is in our business. And that is also part of the Connect suite of products, the ability to have important real estate documents signed in a second by your clients. In addition to that, team, I'm going to say to you that in 2023, in this new changing market that's gone from nuts to normal, we're seeing off-market transactions lose popularity. We know that. Why? Because days on markets are really exploding. And no longer does the buyer necessarily come to you. You've got to go out and find the buyer. You've got to put that property online, get great video work, get great photography. You've got to market it and you've got to launch it like Apple is launching a new phone into the marketplace. You've got to tell the whole world this listing is on the market. And I'm going to say to you, right now, if you're struggling with marketing, become a pro at vendor paid advertising and the way you actually sell it. The best VPA agents I know believe in it. They've got great case studies and they've got good scripts and dialogues where they're able to articulate it and sell it to a vendor. Of course, vendor paid advertising is not to help you. It's to help your clients, your vendors, have a house price maximization strategy, how to get more for their home. Because we clearly know it's not the best home that wins in the market, it's the best marketed home that wins in the market. And just being on realestate.com is not enough. You've got to be on those early search results. You've got to stand out. You've got to be a premier, because if you're not, you're building a billboard in the forest. No one is going to notice it. So you're going to have to get good at getting vendor paid advertising. And for me, one of the great things that has happened in the last few years is the emergence of pay now, pay later products. My favorite, because my clients love it and adore it, is Campaign Agent, which coincidentally is part of the Connect suite of products, which allows you to get a vendor to invest in marketing without them having to pay the money then. Cash flow can be an issue when someone's listing a property. And we know how hard it is to list a property, yet ask for vendor paid advertising. But now, through Campaign Agent, they can actually pay later when they've got more money. So I've got to say to you, if you're not on Campaign Agent, seek it out. I think it's a wonderful product and it is part of the Connect suite of products. Which brings me to the next thing, and that is scripts and dialogues. You're going to have to go pro team. No longer can you wing it. You're going to have to be able to sit there in front of a vendor and actually persuade them that vendor paid advertising is going to help them get more money for their home. So you're going to have to learn how to sell. This is not a webinar on scripts and dialogues, but I've got to say to you, one piece of dialogue that really helps in vendor paid advertising is, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, what's more important to you? The risk of over marketing by $5,000 or the risk of underselling by $100,000? Get good at vendor paid advertising, learn the art of using evidence-based marketing, use case studies, have enthusiasm and belief, and then have that all layered with a seamless way by allowing a client to pay later so there's not too much friction at the time of listing. A couple of other things before we finish off today, and that is the power of reviews. In 2023, the clients won't listen to you. They will listen to other clients who have used you. And I've got to say to you, if you know how to get reviews in a timely way, and when do you do that? The minute the deal is unconditional to the buyer and seller. A simple question. How open-minded would you be to give me a quick rating and a recommendation on my services in working with you? That's when they're at an emotional high. That's when they care about you because they've been dealing with you, not 3 weeks later. But the reason I say that reviews are important is that people care what other people say. It's called social proof. You'll go to a cafe that's got a lot of people waiting there. It's social proof. And I've got to tell you, in real estate, social proof is seen on the realestate.com page when they look at your profile page and they look at all the reviews. The agent that has the most reviews wins in 2023. Of course, there are other tech tools. that help you become a high-tech, high-touch agent. And they are artificial intelligence, which is the most talk of the town tool at the moment. And I'm not going to go off and talk about various products, but I will say to you that they can make your job easier. They can provide you with high probability lists of people to be prospecting. They can help you create great copywriting. So please be very open to artificial intelligence and be open to change, because if you don't like change, you're going to hate extinction. Brings me to the end of this webinar, and I'm hoping that this has inspired you, if it hasn't already, for you to actually seek out your realestate.com representative, associate, and ask them, what are the tools in Connect that can give you a competitive advantage in a time of chaos in real estate? And I have to say to you, I'm not saying that technology is going to substitute you. It's going to complement you. It's high tech, high touch. But in a time of chaos, unprecedented time in real estate, where property prices in some markets have dropped as much as 25%, where volumes have dropped as much as 50%, where people in our industry are struggling in certain markets, you're going to have to learn to get that mindset right. Things get better when you get better. This is the time that you're going to have to protect your attitude. As I said, block the noise. You're going to have to learn that your motto in 2023, your action plan in 2023 is less plan, more action. Get started. I'm encouraging you to get started. 80% of winning is just beginning. Too many real estate agents have what I call paralysis by overanalysis, and they ruminate and they focus on the things that are out of their control. They have this external locus of control where they worry about interest rates or the economy or inflation rates or what their competitors are doing. You can't control that. Let it go. Have an internal locus of control. Focus on what you can control. You can control the amount of phone calls you do, the seller servicing, your vendor meetings. You can control your prospecting. You can control your vendor management skills. You control your buyer management. You can control your punctuality, what time you get to work, what time you leave work. There are so many things you've got control over, including your energy levels in this market. And energy is a choice. And I'm going to say to you, you're going to have to get good at not personalizing rejection and failure, because there's a little bit of that in this marketplace. Just worry about the process and the proceeds will come. And I'm going to ask you, team, to be patient. Be patient. I'm going to say to you, let go of the need for instant results. Play the long game in our business. This has been Tom Panos from the Real Estate Gym on behalf of realestate.com.au, presenting you a webinar on how to not only survive in 2023, but thrive. This is a digital kickstart showing you what agents are doing in terms of digital prospecting and digital nurturing. This is a webinar that's helping you understand that if you can nail digital and focus on the ones that are working, and that's what I've covered today. I've covered products that work. I'm talking cutting edge, not bleeding edge in technology. You can find that not only will you be able to compete against the best of the best, you'll be able to beat them and devastate them. Your ability to have what I call a high technology quotient. We've heard of IQ. We've heard of EQ. Well, I'm telling you, you've got to master TQ, your technology quotient, how you use technology to give you a competitive advantage in the real estate marketplace. If you can master what we spoke about, I'm going to tell you, in 12 months' time, you're going to say to yourself, some of the best gifts in life come badly wrapped. This was a marketplace that I won market share because I stood out. And team, you're going to have to stand out to win out. This is Tom Panos signing off.